Hello everybody, my name is Mike Gross at youtube.com/mgfreeguitarlessons. You could also email me at freeguitarlessonsbymikegross@gmail.com or my soon coming website, freeguitarlessonsbymikegross.com. Today I'd like to show you guys Jimi Hendrix Little Wing. The intro to that is kind of a mix between Stevie Ray Vaughan's version and Jimi Hendrix version, which I love both. So hopefully you guys like this. I'll break it down for you. I'll play it up to tempo, and then we'll do probably a halftime version of that afterwards. Please subscribe to my channel if you like free guitar lessons, which everybody likes free guitar lessons, right? So here we go. This is Jimi Hendrix Little Wing. Okay, that's up to tempo. I'll break this down. I'll do less talk and a little more playing so you guys can get the results that you want without having to hear me talk through the whole thing. So, I start with this. Hendrix was one of the few players that played with his thumb over the top of the neck. Other people have done it, of course. Steve Vai, lots of players. Mike Gross. So, you don't have to use the thumb. It's just how I ended up doing it years and years ago. It's one of the first Hendrix songs I learned, and I had mad respect for the dude after this song. Amazing guitar player. Changed music just like the Beatles changed music, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm starting 12th fret up top with my thumb, and I'm barring G, B, and E with my index finger, and picking the E, and then strumming the 3 strings and sliding it. Down, up. When you pick, gets a little better attack when you hit it like that. Sliding basically into nothing. You get around 3rd fret, lift off, hit the open, rest. Okay, so one more time. And then left hand mute. This is lightly placing your, I use 4 fingers usually over this end of the neck, and don't push down too hard. We're going for a mute, which is not a note. It's just the effect of a mute, which is like this. Down, up. Okay, hammering on A, hammering on to a B, which is open on the A string, 2nd fret on the A string. And then catching an open G after that. It's a triplet. So we have okay, 5th fret A, hammer to 7th fret A. Barring the 5th fret, D and G, upstroke with the right hand. We have hitting it again and hammering on to the 7th fret on the D while the 5th fret on the G is still ringing. So it's a piece of a chord basically, but and take that 3rd finger, slide it back to fret 5 on the D. So it's okay, and then thumb again up here. 3rd fret on the E string up top, and then I'm barring 3rd fret on the B and E on the high end. So we have. So I hit this one, I hit the open G, and I'm going to hit these 2 together, the B and the E string. So. I'm hammering 5th fret on the B, pulling off back to the 3rd fret, which is being barred. You want to hear 2 strings with that. So it's building a G chord here. Now I'm doing 3rd fret B, 4th fret G. I'm going to hit those together. Hit them again, and I'm going to hammer on to the 5th fret G. I still have this ready to go here. The trick here, I've showed a lot of students this over the years, they go to hammer on something and their finger gets in the way of the underneath string and ends up muting it out. And if you want to play this right, the way Hendrix did it, you want to hear those chunks of 2 strings going together. Like that, as opposed to hearing 1. So, hitting it again, hammer on to fret 5, and then picking the 3rd and 4th fret on the G. So, and I'll do it again, hammer, pick, and then keeping the chord form for continuity, basically, and having it have a flowing feel to it. 5th fret on the D and the 4th fret on the G. I'm still keeping this down even though I'm not playing it. No sense in lifting something off. It's more work to do, and it's better just to keep the chord form there. So even though I'm just hitting D and G. So from this part, I'll play it. Okay, that's that part. So I'll play it up to there. A soft open in there, not real loud, and then go up to 5th fret on the E. So open E, 5th fret E, which is the A note. So that part. 5th fret A, 7th fret A. Bar, 5th fret D and G. Back to 7th fret A. So you have. And what I like to do is, I tell a lot of my students this, subgroup. Don't attack something in its full form. Take it in little pieces. And really, if you want to get the feel of what the guitar player is playing, it's really the best way to do it. Take 4 notes, 4 chunks of something, repeat them. I call them subgrouping. So you have. Make a groove out of it. Tap your foot. Tap, 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 tap. Okay? Next part. Barring 5th fret. Basically from the G to the E. I'm not going to play the high E here, but it takes, like I said, it takes more work. If you got to bar something here, don't try to just do that. It's kind of ridiculous. Go ahead and cover the whole thing for comfort. Okay, I'm going to do this. Hendrix is doing this a lot in here. I'm hammering to the 7th fret on the G. I'm playing the G and the B string together. You'll find this throughout the whole song. The hammer is critical if you want it to have that Hendrix feel to it. And I'm hitting G and B together. So, and then I take this bar, I move it up to the 2 middle strings, D and G. And we do the same concept. Pick the D and G, hammer to the 7th fret D. Be careful once again not to mute out the G when you're playing this. If you do, once again it'll sound like this. And you lose the whole. If you're going to play Hendrix, try to play it like him. Or how Stevie Ray Vaughan did it, which was very cool. Okay, this part's pretty simple here. 5th fret A, hammer to 7th fret, and then pick the 7th fret. I'm going to do the same thing above, but I'm not going to pick it the second time. It'll go. You're going to slide that. So you get right around fret 3, fret 2. So as soon as you get there, lift off, pick the open. Subgroup it, like I was saying earlier. Gives you a real sense of the feel that way. Okay, so from there we got 7th fret G, 8th fret B. As that low E is ringing, I'm going to pick both those, which is part of a chord. I'm going to slide it a whole step. That means 2 frets, and slide it back. So ascending a whole step, descending a whole step, with the low E ringing. Subgroup that. So I'm only picking the initial slide. I'm sliding it, coming back. Then picking by itself in there. So, and then this part's really cool here, kind of like a form of a bar chord, kind of. If you took the melody, it's this subgroup. But I'm playing them in groups of twos. With a hammer on down here. Just to break it down, I've been playing this for years, so I want to make sure you guys catch all the little things that are involved here. A and D together. A and D together again, with pinky on fret 10. I'm barring this, so I'm catching 7th fret off of that. So there's that cool sound between the two notes. I'm barring here, so I'm set up for my next part. D and G, it's barred, fret 7. Hit it again, hammer on to fret 9 on the D. Keep in mind that's got a ring right there. You still want to hear that note, so. Okay. Back to 10A, 7D, I'm barred, set to go. Okay, got it? That's a whole group there. We're almost done with this. Okay, going up to 7th fret, E through E, low E through high E, bar the whole thing. It's almost as if you're doing a power chord here, or think of it as a B minor 7 bar chord, but he's playing around through the chord. So I'm covering everything on 7, 9th fret A, and my pinky's getting ready here to do a hammer on fret 9 on the high E. Cool sounding chord. Subgroup. So I'm hammering, lifting it up, hitting the last 3 strings, 2 strings. Don't overanalyze some of these groupings, then things really feel rehearsed. So kind of try to go by feel as you're playing through some of these parts. Hendrix was all about feel. So I'm lifting it, plucking over here, strumming, bringing the pinky back down. Taking the pinky, kind of a weird jump here, but going over to fret 10. This is still in the same spot, so is this. Doing all the work with the pinky here. Lift the pinky up, emphasizing away from the high E. Like I said, if you hit it in there once or twice, no biggie. A little open to get to the next chord, which is the same chord but a half step back. So. Okay, B flat, and I'm going open, fret 6, I'm hitting the 5th off of that, which will put you on the 8th fret, I'm barring, gonna hit that with an upstroke. Subgroup again, you're gonna get sick of me saying that, but it's very important. Do it fast, you got a ska band playing the song. Okay, so then moving it back another half step. But this time, open E, 5th fret. I still got this the same form as we've been using. Now it's on fret 7. I'm barring. So I'm going to open the A note and then an upstroke. So subgroup, I'm going to say it again because you can back up and base it off the last chord. You can feel the groove that's happening in there. Subgroup is key. Here's the next part, one of my favorite parts of this. Some stretching involved, groups of 2s. Fret 5 G, fret 9 D. Play that as a subgroup, slow it down. So 9-5, we'll speed this up a little bit here. 7-5, 5-5, all on the D and G string. You can bar it from the get-go if you want. And then fret 8 on the A with your pinky, fret 5 on the D. We're already there from the bar, so. And then it's like a suspended sounding chord. Then we're going to move over to fret 7 on the A and keep the 5 where it is. So sounds unresolved. So we have, and then the last part of this is D and G, 5th fret, 7/5, back to D and G, 5th fret. No hammering there. That whole section there, little piece, subgroup, I should say. Okay, approaching the end here, kind of a strange little part. 5E, 7A, or 5E, 7E. Whole step descending slide back to the 5th fret. So thumb comes up to the G. Making it look easy. If you haven't used your thumb, that's going to be a little tricky. Man, this crazy chord here. I heard Steve Vai use this exact same thing in one of his songs. I love it. It goes, we're doing the thumb on the G, hit the octave with your 3rd finger, which is putting you at fret 5 on the D string, open on the G, 3rd fret on the B, 5th fret on the high E. There's your chord. So I hit the E in the octave, or the E string, and I'm hitting the octave off that G note. Hit the last 4 strings that I have set down. I'm going to do a whole step slide, ascending. So, and then pick once you're there, slide back a whole step. So that feels harder than it looks and sounds. Catching upstrokes. I'm going to hit it again. Those last 4, slide it back another whole step. So. Upstrokes, because that gives you punchiness on your transition from one chord to the next. One more time, and then we'll hit the next part. Drop the F. After you do the F stroke on the last 4 strings, take your thumb up there and catch that. It looks crazy. You have to be like a contortionist to do some of these things. Then I hit the last 4. Down up on the strum. Subgroup. C major chord, probably familiar with this. I'm taking the middle finger off to hammer on within the chord. It's going to go. You've got to emphasize around the A, D, and G string. You really want that hammer on to come in. If you don't, you may as well not do the hammer on. You may as well just strum a C chord. So, like I said with Hendrix, you want those little things. They do mean something, and they do count. Okay, so I'm going to pick a little harder with my right hand right in that area to pull that note out. That stuff you hear more on clean channel than distortion, but you practice it on the clean, and it'll strengthen it when you have the distortion, which will cover up a lot of mistakes. So, clean channel and distortion with this stuff. Down up, basically strumming through it, as well as having lots of effects on it. D major, you're probably familiar with that. If you know the C, you'll know the D. And if you don't know any of these chords, you probably shouldn't be doing this song. It's a tricky one, okay? But it's a challenge. So, down. Another thing with the D chord. This is something to remember, not just with this song, with any song, is using your thumb to not necessarily push a note down, but to mute out the strings so you can strum everything. When you're playing rock, metal, or anything that requires big attack in something, you want to mute the notes out. So if you don't, you get this. Listen close, there's something that's bad in there. It's bad. It doesn't sound right with it. So you take your thumb, just barely touch it. Work on that with all your chords. If it's using all 6 strings, doesn't matter, then you just hit all your 6 strings. If it requires 5 strings, 4 strings, you have to think like that. That's something I work a lot with on my students, and it takes time. You won't pick it up in one lesson and come back and be like, dude, I got this. It just won't happen like that. So that's your Steve Vai, the next future Steve Vai. It's a down, up, hitting hard. The very end piece. Okay, break that down and we got it wrapped up. So bar fret 7, D and G, hammer on to fret 9. Lift the third finger off, you got fret 7, down up with your pick. Pinky, 10A, still got the bar over here. We did this earlier, this little chunk. So that's 10-7, then we're going to do 7-7, A and D. Hit it again, hammer on to fret 9. Make sure you hear 2 strings at the end, not 1. So you're starting with 2, end it with 2. There's that last part and we're done. And that's it for today's lesson. YouTube.com, NG free guitar lessons. Please subscribe if you want free lessons. I'd do it. See you next time, guys.